Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I am an Australian New Zealand dual citizen living in Vancouver, Canada. Hello! Today we are doing another coffee chat with Jess. And this time I splurged, not really. I spent $1 and got an iced coffee from McDonald's. It is nearing the end of summer, so I am enjoying these iced coffees before the weather turns cold and we will be enjoying warm beverages. But I wanted to get another coffee and do a coffee chat with Jess today. If you watched my last video, I talked about 5 things that I love about Canada as an Australian New Zealand dual citizen living in Canada. So today I wanted to do a similar video, but I wanted to talk about 5 things that I don't really like about Canada. And this is from the perspective of an Australian New Zealand dual citizen who lives in Vancouver, British Columbia. A bit of a backstory, if this is your first time watching my video, I have lived in Canada for about 6 years. My husband has lived here his whole life. My son was born in Canada 2 years ago. We're planning to move to New Zealand next year. But last video I did 5 things that I love about Canada. You can check that out. But like I said, today is 5 things that I don't really like. So let's jump into number 1. Number 1 thing that I don't love about Canada, and is more specific to where I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, is there's just so much traffic and congestion on the road. We don't live in the Vancouver city, we live, in a suburb out of it, but even so, it's a very busy area. We just drive out onto the main road and there's just so many people, and it can be so frustrating when you want to go somewhere that's literally 5 minutes up the road, but with all the cars, and depending on the time of day you go, it can take, even longer to get somewhere that shouldn't take that long. And there's just so much people in Vancouver on the lower mainland, so there's just so many cars, and it's a little bit frustrating, and something that I don't like, and I'm sure not many people do like, is being stuck in traffic. So that is definitely one thing that I don't like, and was very different when we visited New Zealand at the beginning of the year. My parents live in a little bit of a smaller town, so there's really no traffic, which is nice. The second thing that I don't love about Canada is some of the wildlife animals outside, particularly squirrels, raccoons, and skunks. Pests. I don't like them. Raccoons make a mess in your garbage. Skunks, there's some skunks in our backyard sometimes, and then you can just smell them and it goes all through our house. And squirrels, they are so sneaky. They try and get our food if we're eating outside, and the 2 squirrels that live in our neighborhood aren't scared of people. I'm so sure there's people that are feeding them, because they are not scared of us. They always try and come and take our food, and it's so annoying. It's birds, yeah, I get it. We had, birds in Australia and New Zealand that try and take your food, but these other little critters that, I just don't like them. I hate having to fend them off when we're eating, or run away because they're scary and I don't want them to attack me when they're in my garbage. So definitely don't like those animals. The third thing, and is also more particular to where I live in Vancouver, or as it is called, Raincouver, is there is just so much rain 80% of the year. Right now it is sunny outside. We are in summer, and I really do like Vancouver when it is sunny in summer, but it's not like this all the time. And I'm starting to feel that as we are slowly creeping into fall. Vancouver gets so gray, and can be gray for so long, and just rain for days and days nonstop. And that is definitely something that, as an Australian who grew up in basically sunshine, has still 6 years later being a really hard adjustment for me, and something that I'm not completely used to. it definitely does play a role in my mood. And over these years, I've tried to find different strategies to not get hit so hard with seasonal depression, but it is a very real thing and very hard. And I always joke that I don't understand how it can just rain so much all the time. So yeah, it's definitely don't enjoy the gray and the rain for most of the year, which makes it very difficult to live here. Another thing that is also very particular to Vancouver and the Lower Mainland where I live is that housing prices and rent is just so expensive. I think Vancouver is ranked as one of the most expensive places to live in the world, and unfortunately it's so hard to buy your own place. A lot of people can't afford it. A lot of people are paying rent that is absolutely ridiculous for spaces that aren't even that big, and it's just a very well-known and big crisis all throughout Vancouver and the Lower Mainland is that it is just so expensive and it's so hard to get into the housing market, and it's one thing that is tough to come to terms with because Vancouver is really pretty and there are a lot of amazing places to see, but it's so hard when you feel like you just have to work to be able to pay for where you live. And I just wish that housing and rent was more affordable. And the last thing that I don't particularly love about not only Canada, but I think it's definitely a North American mindset, is just this hustle and grind success culture. I think it's pretty well known that in North America, you know, everyone's all caught up in the hustle and bustle, and you need to work so hard and be successful and do all these things. And a big culture shock when I first moved to Canada is everyone kind of ties your identity to what you do. If you meet someone new for the first time, one of the first 2 or 3 questions that they're going to ask you is, oh, what do you do for work? Or what do you do? And that is just so different. In Australia and New Zealand, I feel like that's not a super big, important discussion. I know it comes up, but it's not like that big hustle and bustle. I feel like in Australia and New Zealand, there's more concern or more value, I guess, in work-life balance, taking it slow, enjoying your family, not overworking yourself. But that is definitely not the case in North America, and it's been really hard. And something that I don't want to put my identity in is what I do or how much I'm working or how much I'm making. And it's just one thing that I don't really love about being in this side of the world and feeling like you always have to grind, and if you're not grinding hard enough, then you're not doing enough or you're not enough. So I don't like that mentality. So those are 5 things that I don't love about Canada, or particularly some things I don't love about Vancouver. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If there's anything that I forgot that maybe isn't the greatest thing about Canada, please let me know, or let me know some things that maybe are similar to where you live. It's really interesting to see what's the same in other countries and what differs in other countries. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.